Oh shit, Blake, we got to record an episode.
Oh shit!
We just got. What's up, Sooner Nation?
How's it going? It's the Sooner the Better podcast.
It's the Sooner the Better podcast. We just got done watching the spring game, so that is going to be all of today's content. We're going to let you know how our day went, what we saw, what we think, and that's it. Let's get right into the episode. What's up, everybody? Welcome back. Episode 12 of the Sooner the Better podcast. Very special episode. Yeah, we're both really tired. We just had a very full day.
I got up at 6 o'clock, drove up from Dallas to Norman for the spring game.
Yep, which just happened. A lot of you were probably there.
I drank a beer, drank another beer, 3 beers,
right?
4 beers, 5 beers, 6 beers,
and a Bloody Mary.
7 beers. And a Bloody Mary.
Yeah, so did some drinking, ate some really good food, and we watched the spring game. So
you want to talk about the food
I guess
a little bit?
Shit. Yeah, let's get right in. So let's just talk about how our day went before we get into it. Obviously, we're not at our usual set again, as usual, or our usual set, just like last week. We're here at the Courtyard Marriott. Don't even think about coming here to see us, because by the time you get here, we'll be gone.
Yep.
So we're recording We're recording from this nice twin bed here.
We were gonna record downstairs in the lobby, but there were old people playing bridge,
playing Pinochle,
or
whatever that game is called.
So we're recording it up here.
Yeah. So, how our day started out? Obviously, we drove about 2.5 hours from
3
Texas to Norman. Got here, had a great lunch and some drinks at a what the fuck was that place called? Sideline Bar.
It's cool.
It was
sticky.
It was cool.
Sticky.
The floors were a little sticky.
Store. It was like flypaper.
Yeah.
Was what was on their floors.
Yeah, it's a college bar though, so you can't blame them. But yeah, that was really good. And then what did we went to the spring game early. We got in early because I was trying to get a Baker headband, which I didn't end up getting.
No.
Sadly, but then we waited about 2 hours in the stadium, which was cool. We were up at club level. The club's pretty freaking nice.
Beautiful club.
And then the spring game,
had a little
some nachos, yep.
Couple beers.
And then the spring game commenced. We watched the spring game. Obviously, watched Baker celebrate getting his Heisman statue reveal, which we'll talk about. We'll talk about that little number a little bit later.
Saw Brent Venables.
Saw
give his
Brent Venables give his little spiel, and then after that, we went back to the hotel room. And then we went and got a fantastic dinner at
steak dinner
at the ranch.
Saw some heavyweights.
DeMarco Murray was there. I just tweeted out probably an hour ago. Yeah, he was like 15 feet from us. We were freaking out. Who else did we see? We saw Porter Moser, head basketball coach. So
Gavin
Sawchuk was there. He was literally sitting 2 tables away from us too. So
and some big old boy who's we haven't.
Yeah, I think he's a 2023 guy.
Yeah.
Offensive lineman, obviously,
big
just big stocky kid with like orange hair. Fuck if I know, but had a nice steak, had some great sides and some good
great
desserts.
mushrooms. Best mushrooms I've ever had.
Yeah, if you're looking for a place to indulge in great some mushrooms, the ranch is the place to do so. But anyway, let's get right into it. I think we've told them enough about our day. Yeah. We're tired, so I didn't even want to work off a laptop. I just have my notes on my phone here since we're just doing spring game stuff.
I'm looking on his phone too. I didn't even
We do, however, have some new business. So fan question of the week. I asked our listeners who has the best chicken sandwich of all the fast food restaurants. I know the last thing you want to do right now is think about food, but the choices were Chick-fil-A and Popeyes, obviously, since those are the 2 heavy hitters. And then I asked if there was any dark horses, any others, and to put them in the comments. So based on the poll here, we had 34 people respond, okay? 68% said Chick-fil-A, right? 26% said Popeyes, and then 6% said other, but the only comment that I got for other was Brahms ice cream. Okay, so this is interesting. I want to discuss this. So here's my thoughts. Chick-fil-A has the best chicken. Popeyes has the better bun, and I do like that Popeyes, the breading is a little bit crispier than Chick-fil-A's because I like a little bit of a crunch. So I'm like 50-50 between Chick-fil-A, Popeyes. I've had a Brahms, but I can't remember exactly what it was like. But apparently Brahms is like a staple here. It's not like, because we have them in Texas, but they're not like that big of a deal.
You kind of just go for ice cream.
Yeah, but apparently here they're like a place you go like regularly for food. So that's interesting.
Yeah, I mean Chick-fil-A is my go-to. To me, it's goated. My problem that I have with Popeyes is it has a lot to do with the experience, customer experience.
Right.
When you go to Chick-fil-A, you know what you're going to get. Service is fast. You're going to get that nice steamy bun. It's going to be spicy. You get the spicy chicken sandwich.
Right.
It's going to be good. It just feels, they say it's my pleasure, and you kind of feel like it is their pleasure.
Yeah.
And it's also
but
my
it's also
pleasure.
your pleasure.
And I get a lot of pleasure.
But it'd be really awkward if you said that back.
Yeah, like, I'm going to, next time I go, I'm going to do that. When they're like my pleasure, I'm going to be like,
it's actually my pleasure.
Me too.
Yeah.
Popeyes, I've only had their chicken sandwich like one time. I thought it was okay. I don't like when you start putting sauces and shit on chicken sandwiches. I don't want to have to ask specifically for no mayo or aioli or some shit. I just want like a plain chicken sandwich, spiced chicken sandwich. So for me, Chipotle is where it's at.
Chipotle?
Or Chick-fil-A.
We're not talking about fucking burritos, dude. Yeah, I guess I can see what you're saying. My final thoughts, I like Chick-fil-A. Their chicken obviously is superior, but I don't like how soggy the buns get. The buns get very, very soggy.
If you let it sit for too long.
And the pickles are too like flimsy. Popeye's got the nice crunchy pickles.
Okay.
Nice crunchy breading, and the bun's a little bit more firm.
So it sounds like you're leading Popeyes.
No, it's 50-50 because the chicken is the most important ingredient.
Yes, that's true.
So I'm 50-50. Again, I'm not too familiar with Brahms, but I guess if that's your thing, more power to you.
Will you do me a favor? Will you pass me my Red Bull?
Thank you, partner. So yeah, and then I was gonna do shout outs to new subscribers, but I didn't have any way to. Well, no, I just don't have any way to track them. I think we had a couple new ones.
Oh, well, thank you.
I was trying to figure out how to track it, but I couldn't. So once we figure out how to do that, we'll do some subscriber shout outs next time. So thanks for subscribing. Again, just a reminder to any new or recurring listeners, please like the video and subscribe. It'd mean a lot to us. We're a small channel. We're growing. So please help us out. Thanks. So getting on to the meat and potatoes.
Meat and potatoes.
As we like to say.
That's what we had a lot of today.
The spring game. So I guess just in like 2 or 3 sentences, what are your initial thoughts before we get into some specifics here?
All right. I got 3 points that I want to make. And I'm going to do it like a haiku. I don't know if it's actually going to come out like a haiku because there's like a certain number of syllables that has to be. I'm
not super familiar with the haiku, I'll be honest with you.
It's like 5 syllables, 2 syllables, 7 syllables, something like that.
I know it's Japanese.
Yeah. I'm going to say defense is good.
Okay. I'm right with you. I'm following you.
Michael Turk is a god.
I think we're still we're still on the rails.
Dillon Gabriel, question mark.
Okay, I'm with you. I'm on that train. So let's get some notes out of the way. So let's talk. Let's just get the elephant in the room out of the way. Let's talk Dillon Gabriel.
All right.
So I know it's a spring game. Obviously, you have no idea what they're going for, how they're coaching them, right, or like what's going on. Dillon Gabriel didn't look as stellar as one could have hoped. If I'm being completely honest with you, obviously he's still going to be the guy.
Because everyone else looked significantly worse.
Yeah, they didn't look great either. But quarterback play, after seeing that, like obviously it's a spring game. I don't want to read too much into it, but it was slightly concerning as far as like things in the spring game go. There was a lot of errant throws made down, not necessarily errant throws, but throws made in some questionable coverage, like very tight coverage.
Yes.
Which obviously you have to give your receivers some opportunities to win those 50-50 balls just to see how they handle those situations. But obviously, 1 pick thrown, 1 touchdown. On paper, looked pretty good. 19 for 28.
Something like
but
that.
A lot of those were checkdowns.
Yeah. I think my biggest thing that I kind of noticed was anytime he did have a couple big throws. They were mostly little seams or fades. In busted coverage, it was kind of what it looked like, either down the middle. I think he had a big one to Braden Willis, and he had a big one to Theo Weiss.
Big one to Theo Weiss, yeah.
But it was kind of busted coverage, so it wasn't like he made an amazing throw. He just kind of had a guy wide open, and he put the ball where it was supposed to be, which is what you want.
Yeah.
But it seemed like any time it was 50-50 balls, and this is also partially shout out to our secondary because they were draped.
No, they played
all over our receivers, which was
they were unrecognizable,
refreshing
from the last
breath
few
of
years.
Fresh air. But in those 50-50 situations, he did not put the ball in the right location to give the receiver the best chance, and that's ultimately what led to that pick that he threw.
Yeah, I will say this: he moved around well. Once they started letting him get out of the pocket,
well.
He moved around well. It was just really tuning in the arm, which obviously that's a big part of playing quarterback. That's why it's a concern.
It is
windy. It is windy, but at the same time, it's as far as first impressions go, could have been better. So I'm not super concerned, but there was a point there where the panic button was coming out of the pocket.
It was on his knee.
Yeah,
he didn't hit it, but it was there.
Yeah, but overall, what can you do?
Well, I would give him a 6.5, 7 out of 10.
I'd give him a 7 out of 10, simply for the fact that he did throw a touchdown, only 1 interception. Had a pretty good completion percentage, so not too bad, but could have been better. Expect them to be better because it's Oklahoma. But yeah, that was a great throw to Theo Weiss. That was also something I put in my notes. Tackling looked like 180-degree turnaround. We were hitting extremely hard. Deshaun White had a couple nasty hits.
Yep.
Jaron Kanik moved out to safety at one point.
He's a dart. He's so fast. We called it.
Sprinted up to the line, beat the guy just past the line of scrimmage, and made a huge hit on. I can't remember. Was Jaron on the red team?
Yeah.
I think he tackled Eric Gray.
Yeah.
But made a huge hit on him. David Agwebu had a few good ones. I'm trying to think of. Key Lawrence had a couple good hits.
Yeah, Key Lawrence had some good ones. Can we just go ahead and say award for most improved unit, our secondary by far?
I would like to give most improved and best unit of the day to the secondary.
I would say maybe between
them
secondary
and the linebackers. Yeah.
But yes, the secondary looked great. They were draped all over the receivers, and when there were catches, usually there weren't very many yards after catch. I don't know what the stats are on it for the day. I'd have to look at that, but it didn't seem like there were big yards after catch, minus a couple of blown coverages, which you can tighten up. We still got time. Very, very satisfied with how they played.
And that is another, and you don't want to say that receivers playing poorly is a check on Dillon Gabriel. It's in his favor or whatever, but there were a lot of drop passes. There were quite a few drops that should not have been drops. Because there's a difference between a DB making a great play and then just something where it's they made a good play, but the ball was in your hands. You need to come down with it. You're a Division I wide receiver. And then another thing from the secondary that I marked down: no overcommitting. They were not overcommitting to tackles. The linebackers were doing, and you see them working on it in drills. They were doing exactly what they have to do, getting on the block, getting their head inside the blocker, on the same side as the ball carrier, throwing them, grabbing them, not overcommitting, not trying to, back up and stop him at the sticks. They were just staying right with the ball carrier. And, they were filling gaps. They were breaking up passes. The defense is something everybody should be super excited about. It looked extremely good.
I think we knew it was something different when, what was it, the first play of the game or the second play of the game? And I don't know who made the hit. Mm-hmm. But I'm pretty sure it was it Barnes that was running the ball, and
I think it was Barnes running the ball,
and then someone just
Deshaun White,
popped him.
Deshaun White, I think, first or second play of the game,
stopped him in his tracks and laid him out, and that was like, oh, we're dealing with a different monster here.
Yeah, Deshaun White had a couple of big hits throughout the day, and that one was like you could hear it, like not even through the microphones, like you could just hear it like off the field. It was a huge hit, but yeah, that was exciting. And then obviously we just talked about Jaren Kanak. Dude looked like he could start, like straight up.
Dude's gonna have some minutes.
He looked like he could start at either position that they played him at. And just the defense overall, like some of the stuff they were doing with the disguises was really cool. It was really cool to see them not just run the fucking same 4 formations over and over again. That speed D bullshit. And then let's talk about just running backs real quick. So Eric Gray looked good.
Yeah.
Eric Gray looked good. I would say looked a little bit better than, and Javonte Barnes looked great. Don't get me wrong. I think he looked a little bit better than Javonte Barnes, was making some really good cuts in space.
Yeah.
But I'm not convinced that Tawee Walker was not the best running back today. I'm not going to say he's the best running back on the team, but today he was the best.
I don't know about speed wise. I'd have to look at and see what their stats are as far as what they run 40s in, but he was by far the back that stood out as being the most physical.
Oh, he's for sure the strongest.
There were a few plays where he would just go straight head on to a linebacker and pop him. There was one that he popped him and broke and got an extra 3-4 yards after the run.
And then I believe he had a touchdown, didn't he? He did.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, he had a touchdown. So, I think he was the only running back that had a touchdown.
No, I think Eric Gray
had one.
Well, I think Javonte had one too.
Oh, he did. He had that pile up. Yeah, okay. So each one had a touchdown. But, I mean, for being a dude that transferred out of a JUCO and, like, wasn't really in the talks of being, like, you know, a first or second string guy, like, he made a statement today for sure. He's really strong.
He'll get some looks on third downs, fourth downs, goal lines. I think he seems like he's the most physical runner that we have. Sure.
Yeah, no. So, like, honestly, the position that I was most, like the least anxious about ended up being the position that, now has me questioning the most at receiver. Like, everybody looked decent. Like, Drake Stoops obviously made a lot of catches. I don't think Drake Stoops had any drops. He had one. He had one? Yeah, but, like,
big drop.
Marvin Mims had a couple over the middle. Jaleel Farouk had a drop. Jaden Gibson had that 95-yard touchdown, though. That thing was insane. Thrown by Micah Bowens, of all people.
Farouk had a couple of, like, little short, swinging gates or bubbles that he caught, and he made a couple of good moves.
Yeah.
No one from the receiving corps really stood out to me as, like, and like you said, early when it was more like a real game situation. You had a couple drops that shouldn't have been drops in key situations that they're going to have to tighten that up.
Yeah. And then, like, again, take everything we're saying with a grain of salt. Again, it's the spring game. This is not, like, a super accurate representation of the team. But we're just breaking it down, you know. So we're going to get into the last few things. This is a really short episode just because it's all spring game stuff. We're very tired. And, like, you know, we didn't prepare any content except for what we just saw. So let's go most outstanding unit. I have my answer.
I think we both said the secondary.
Yeah, I'm going to go secondary, DBs.
Good stuff.
Just looked entirely different from anything we've seen the last few years. Wheaton had some incredible pass breakups. He was playing insanely good. Woody Washington had a lot of great tackles. Key Lawrence was doing really good reading the runs and, like, getting up to the line of scrimmage and bringing the ball carrier down. So I saw a lot of great things from the secondary, and I'm super pumped about it. And it's only going to get better because we still have the fresh, like, Gentry Williams. We still have a bunch of guys that aren't getting here till the fall. So it's only going up from here. Let's go. I said player highlights, but we already did some player highlights. So let's just go MVP of both sides of the ball.
So MVP, I'm going to let you go first. I have to think about that one for a second.
I'm going to say my MVP is probably going to be Deshaun White, simply just because I saw him. He was filling gaps really, really well. Again, had a lot of like brutal hits, like really, really good hits, and like you can tell he's just like a big time leader on that defense. Just the way that he runs around, he's always on the ball. So I saw some really good things from him. Wheaton too, though, like really surprised me. I thought he was one of our worst DBs, and he had himself a day. So I'm gonna go Deshaun White on defense.
I think I might go with Kinnick just because I didn't expect to see him play safety as well.
Oh no, he played extremely well
as linebacker. I didn't realize that he had that level of versatility. We knew he was versatile, but I didn't realize he was that versatile, and I didn't realize he was that fast. He looked like the fastest guy out there on the defense. He made some physical plays, and to come in as a young guy and contribute like that in a big way, I'll have to give it to him.
Okay, cool. And then for offense, I'm going to go with Tawee Walker. I got a ton of carries. I mean, Gray didn't really play past the halfway through the first quarter, and then Tawee Walker, I think, got a little bit more out of the game than Javonte Barnes did. And obviously just in terms of what the game meant to him, because he's obviously a little bit lower on the depth chart. So I'm going to go with Tawee Walker for my offensive MVP. Played really well.
I will second that. I just don't, like I said, no one from the offense really stood out. Like,
Sooner! Somebody's yelling "Boomer" from outside of our hotel room here. That's pretty cool. He's a fan of the podcast. I'm having a little trouble. Yeah, that might be a little drunk. Anyway, but Tawee Walker had an incredible game. We saw some really surprising stuff today. It was a really weird day. Probably really weird for a lot of OU fans because it's completely different than what we're used to. But like, get used to it. I mean, like the offensive stuff, it's only going to get better. Our recruits are going to get better and better. And we're going to have Jackson Arnold coming in. Even if Nick Evers isn't the guy, Jackson Arnold's fucking solid, dude. I'm really excited about Jackson Arnold. But Nick Evers, he's going to grow into the role. He's still like technically he's a high school kid. Yeah. Like he hasn't, he's got time to grow for sure. The Baker statue unveiling. So we got to talk about this for just a little bit. Obviously, the ceremony was super cool, super emotional. Baker's a huge legend here in Norman and amongst OU fans. His statue looks like dog shit. Okay.
I actually don't think it's as bad. Getting to see it in person, we saw an early picture yesterday. Yeah. And we were both kind of like, what the hell is that? You look at it a little bit closer. They have the headband, the Nike logo.
The headband is more discernible in person. I still don't think they got the face right. The hair looks fine.
It's better.
And the body looks fine. But I hate the pose. The pose is terrible. They could have done a million different things. And then the face doesn't look any fucking thing like him. He looks like Ryan Reynolds. Like, it doesn't look like Baker Mayfield at all. Because they didn't give him a beard. They should have gone with the Fu Manchu, the headband, and he should have been planting the fucking flag, dude. It makes me so mad that they know that's what everyone wanted, probably including Baker, and they decided to just go with the generic Heisman pose, which he's done one time in his entire career, and they put the highlight up there of him like, dude, he did that once. Like, you could have at least done him, like, pointing, throwing the ball, or, like, him, like celebrating the touch. Yeah, like, doing some crazy touchdown celebration, or, like, just done the flag plant like everybody wanted. Like, you could have made that if you did Baker planting the flag at Buckeye Stadium. You cannot tell me that would not be one of, outside of stadiums, because obviously stadiums are like the biggest homage to the sport. You can't tell me that would not be one of the great, like probably the greatest physical monument to the sport of college football.
No, it definitely would. It'd be like iconic.
That shit would be legendary.
It would be iconic. Missed a shot.
But yeah, I mean, the statue itself was disappointing. The celebration was pretty cool. There was a shit ton of people gathered around the statue as we were leaving. So obviously it shows you how much people love Baker, even though his statue doesn't look like him. They got a lot of things right, but like the face, hell no, man. They should have put a beard on him. Excuse me, I'm losing my voice a little bit here. Let's just go best part of the day to cap this one off. We'll just each say our best parts of the day. We'll go football related, and then like your actual.
Best part of the day was the ranch has probably one of the best steaks I've had in a long time.
The ranch was very good.
Very, very good. And it was cool getting to dine, rub elbows with all the coaches.
Oh no, it was
see the recruiting process, like kind of what happens. It was
that
cool.
was insanely fun.
And that's also kind of football related, so I'm just gonna go with that for my overall one.
Yeah, I'd say it probably goes getting to watch the defense.
Yeah.
Offense, getting to watch the defense, and then same thing as you, like the ranch, bro. If you guys haven't been, it is pricey. However, it's fucking delicious. We saw, just to recap, DeMarco Murray. We saw like multiple high school recruits. Gavin Sawchuk sitting next to DeMarco Murray. Porter Moser was just. I went to go take a piss. I went to go to the bathroom. I walk over. I passed DeMarco Murray. Like I could have reached out and just stuck my finger in his mouth.
Yeah.
I don't know why I would have done that, but I could have if I wanted to.
Well, that's what he did to me when I walked.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah.
Just gave you a little boop. Anyway, yeah. So I was like literally like smacking distance from DeMarco Murray and Gavin Sawchuk, and then I round the corner, right, and I see two other former players, and then I didn't know who they were because they were kind of older, kind of old guys, but I could tell they were former players just from the way that people were talking to them. And then I turn to my left, and I see Porter Moser sitting there with one of the Groves brothers and a couple basketball recruits. So yeah, man, it was just filled with a bunch of Oklahoma celebrities. So it was pretty. And what was that guy's name, Dad? We got our dad in the room with us too. He came on the spring.
I think it was Josh Norman.
Josh Norman was sitting right behind us.
Yeah.
Well, talking with some people.
He was sitting to the left of me, but that's a whole.
Yeah, he was hold the debacle, but he was sitting right there. So just a ton of old players. So it was a really cool experience. I'd recommend you guys go sometime. But that is going to do it, man.
Yeah, I'm ready to go.
That's the wrap up. We're tired. We got to drive out tomorrow. So
we go see John Mayer.
Cool, man. No one cares. No one cares. No one cares. It is of no matter. Anyway, until next time, y'all. It's been great. Remember to like and subscribe. Thank you so much for all the support. Hope y'all loved the spring game just like we did. Boomer Sooner.
Yeah.